Hello, and welcome to this edition of Isaiah's Gold. I'm Riches. I can remember what my mama used to say, Ricky, go for the gold before your butt gets old. You were born in the greatest country in the world. Where else can you get broke, get caught in a net, or get back on your feet? Right then I started to dream. Things aren't always what they seem. I got knocked out 3 times in a row and lost my wits. Ended up in the net, caught like a fish. Would it be hot grease or catch and release? One thing I know, I didn't hit the ground, but it's hard as hell to make a rebound. When I woke up, I had a choice to make, to stand on my own 2 feet or live off the take. I guess you know what I'm going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about nets. What is this fascination that the world has with nets? There's a parable in the Bible that says, Jesus says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down, and put the good into baskets, but threw out the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, that's what the Bible says about this net that I'm talking about. Now, we have other nets. We have basketball nets, hockey nets, ping pong nets, volleyball nets, playpen nets, tennis nets, soccer nets, just all kinds of nets. And we love these nets. We watch them on TV. We train our kids with them. Just all kinds of things that you can do with these nets. But the net that I think I'm going to talk about the most is called the safety net. So what is this safety net? This safety net is a thing where our country, the USA, has a mechanism where if you stumble or have a fall, that there's going to be a net that can catch you. It's going to catch you from a free fall. If you have a free fall without this net, you could hit the ground, and that wouldn't be good. It'd be very bad for you if you hit the ground without this net. Now, there are people that do it. You could see them out on the streets, standing on the corners. If you're wondering why you can't get a shopping cart at your shopping grocery store, well, these people use these carts for their transportation, and they also use them for shelter. They put a bunch of them in a circle and put a blanket over them or something, and that's where they live. These are the people that don't want to give up any of their rights in order to live in the safety net. When you live in the safety net, you have to give up some rights. It's just like when I had to visit the safety net, I couldn't make X amount of money. So that's a right you have to give up. If you make X amount of money, they will kick you out the net, and then anything that the net spent on you, you have to repay it. In my case, I had to stay in this net for 3 years, doctor's orders, and then the safety net added another year. So here's another year where I don't have the right to make money while I'm in this net. So there are some rights you have to give up. Another tenet of this net is called family planning. Isn't that great? If you're in this net, they're going to plan your family for you. You don't have to do it. They'll plan your family for you. Isn't that great? And then we have the state children's health program or CHIP, and that's an insurance program. So if you don't have the money and you get caught in this net, that your children can have some insurance where they can go and see the doctor when they need to. The next tenet of this net is called Medicaid. And I'm just going through some of them. Some of them I think are really important. Medicaid is an insurance where if you don't have enough money, you can go to the doctor and get your prescriptions and whatever you need to make sure that you're healthy. This Medicaid program is a great thing. I can see why a lot of people like to live in the net. Sometimes people live in this net, but remember, they have to give up rights. Another tenet of the safety net is called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF, or what we like to call welfare. Even though we all pay into this safety net, we still look at people that are in this net like they're lower than you, and they might not be there for anything that they did. Could be like me, got knocked out a few times, and it took a while to recover from the concussions. The next thing is called the income tax credit. Well, you can earn income in this net, but you have to give up your right to earn as much as you can while you're in this net, and then you can write it off on your taxes. That's a great thing. It's interesting. And then you have earned income tax credit. That's also a tenet of this safety net. So you can earn income to pay for your stay in the net, and you can get a tax break for it. Then they have additional child tax credit. This means you can have a bunch of children and you can get a write-off on your taxes from the money that you can make, the limited amount of money that you can make while you're in the net, and you can get a tax write-off for that. Then this one's real interesting. It's called Improving Teacher Quality State Grants. I was a teacher. I was a substitute teacher, and I taught second grade at this one elementary school and ended up staying there for years at paraprofessional pay, even though I was teaching the children. But if you're in the net, you can't make that much money. So what is this Improving Teacher Quality Grant for? It's for teachers to go learn how to teach better. They go on these retreats and they learn how to teach better. Then we have a tenet of the net called the Academic Competitiveness and Smart Grant Program. That's an interesting program. What's it for? Is it for people who have really smart kids and they need to send them to a school where the teachers can teach them a little faster than children in private schools? And these grants pay for these nonprofits to keep their business running so that they can help the smart kids in this country. The smart kids in this country need money too. But the funny thing about this one is you can make, if you get this grant, let's say that you're so-and-so smart kid school, you can get this grant and there's no limit on how much money that you can make. But you're still in the safety net. I find that interesting. Then you have something called supportive housing for the elderly. We know what that means. Elderly get some housing because they're maybe too old to afford to make enough money to have housing without assistance. This is a great country. It also has supportive housing for persons with disabilities, and boy, it's just great. Then we have what's called Section 8 project-based rental assistance. So let's say that you are a millionaire and you build apartments and you write for this grant, and the grant pays for your apartments, and the people that live in your apartments, well, they have to pay some rent. So you get money from the people that live in the net that can't make a certain amount of money. Then you get money from the state to build the housing that you own, to provide housing for people that can't afford housing. So you get it from both ends. Then we have the community development block grants. What is that one all about? You get a grant in your community to help teach the children how to work so that they can work for the people that have the money. I don't know. Could be, could not be. Then we have the public housing, and that's where people that don't have enough money can live in housing. Again, the people that build the housing get money from the state, which gets money from the federal government, and it's pretty interesting. The people that live there can't make X amount of money that are in this safety net, but the people that build the housing get paid to build the housing to house the people that can't make enough money because they live in the net. Then we have the emergency food assistance program. That's to make sure that people that can't afford to buy food can have food to eat. Of course, if they're in the net, they can't make X amount of dollars. So that's another right that they have to give up. There's a lot of rights that you have to give up. But this one is really, really interesting. It's called Title I Migrant Education Program. So here's money that if you're in the net and you're a migrant, you can get this money to go to school and get educated. Then they have the federal work study and the federal Pell Grants. And now they're not calling it welfare anymore. And if you're in this safety net and you apply for a federal Pell Grant, well, it helps pay for your school. Now, down to what I really want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the takeover of Ukraine and our safety net. We need to prepare for the people of Ukraine. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes the safety net doesn't work for some people. Sometimes it works for some people. But that doesn't matter. We know that there's going to be an influx of people because a brutal dictator is taking over their country for who knows what. But be prepared to have these people come and join the safety net. And that's what makes the USA great. Your country can get taken over, and like other countries, you can stay in our safety net. Now, the people from Ukraine that come here, they come and they get to receive the tenets of the safety net just like we do. And that's a great thing. And when they go home, or before they go home, they can go home and fight, stay home and fight for their country, or they can live here and when it's over, go back home. But the good thing about our country is some of them can stay and we can use all their brain power, and that's the kind of brain power that makes this country great. We're a great country. People wait in lines and swim across rivers and walk across deserts to come to this country when they can't live in their country because there's a brutal dictator trying to kill them if they want to be free. That's all Ukraine wants to be. They want to have a country where they have a safety net that takes care and keeps their citizens safe, and they want to be able to do the things that they want to do and the things that they're capable of without having some tyrant tell them what to do. Now, that's going to be the end of the net show today, but we do have a book of the month club, and The book of the month is the Edenic. In the Edenic, it is a gripping, hard-hitting work of fiction into the world of unadulterated power and greed. The time has come for the Matus family, chosen by God, to preserve the parable. The first will be last, and the last will be first. There will be excitement of a new land, democracy, capitalism, wealth, and religious freedom. Isn't that a great country to belong to? And the book is about energy, and they're mining it on the moon. So this is going to be a great read. It's called The Edenic by Richard Bernstein, and you can get it. The next thing that we have is a song of the month. We just included that today. There's a song by Earth, Wind, and Fire, and it's called Pure Gold. And to me, it's like an old Negro spiritual. This song is dedicated to the people in Ukraine. This is a beautiful song, and I'm going to play it because I know that Earth, Wind, and Fire made this song for people like Putin and people like the people of Ukraine. And I bought it, and I want you to go out and buy it too. Here it goes. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song.
Won't you wake up, walk in the light. Won't you wake up, bring substance in your life. Won't you wake up, walk in the light. Won't you wake up, yeah. Where's your heart, where's your pride? Has it all been pushed aside? Lavish dreams, living high, yet no substance in your life.
I just love this song. I play this song when I need to be picked up, and that's a lot. My trip to this safety net. Listen to the lyrics on this song. It's just beautiful. That's why I call it an old Negro spiritual. This is dedicated to you people in Ukraine who has an evil tyrant that's trying to take over your country. And this is for the tyrant too. He needs to listen to this too. This is for you too. I want to give thanks to Philip Bailey Production Company. They really knocked it out the park on this one. Okay, this is the end of Isaiah's Goal for this week, and we're going to have another great topic to talk to you about next week, and it's going to be interesting, and we're going to talk to you about it in a language that you can understand. And also, the first Isaiah's Gold, I'm going to leave a link for you to go to So you can look at it and laugh, and you're going to see my first attempt to have some satire about the news. You can see it on Rich's satire. So I'll include a link where you can go watch that one too. It's going to be really interesting, and I hope you enjoy it. This is Isaiah's Gold, and I'm Rich's, and we'll talk to you next week.